Welcome to our first meeting of Special Topics in School Finance. I am Dr. Lou Sabina, and I am our instructor here. Our first overview of the course is going to be a brief 5 to 10 minute overview of what you can expect on the course, what you can expect on each of the assignments. The purpose of this course really is to work with all of you as future school superintendents on issues in school finance and to give you a foundational analysis of the content that you need to help you become an effective school leader. So this course is designed essentially to provide you with an overview of district level school finance and how it helps you, understand how financial issues impact schools. This is the first time that this course has been offered as is. This course used to be a combined master's and EDD PhD class, and it was targeted for all education students, but this is the first run. This class is a district level finance. It focuses on, this course will focus on an overview of general, the master's one is activities funds. This one is going to focus more on district level finance than anything else. This course will only be offered once every 2 years, and it will only be offered during the summer. And because it is a split course, if by some reason you cannot take this course now, you do not get another opportunity to take this class. It only will run every 2 years, and it will only run during the summers of odd years, where the other school finance class will run every year like clockwork in the spring semester. So if something happens and you have to withdraw, you have to leave this course, and you need this class, please let me know in advance so that we can kind of figure out an alternative, because this is kind of a one and done shot at this. So attendance is not required for this class. It's great that that some of you decided to be here. That's glorious and wonderful, but it's not required. This course will always be offered as an online course because it has to be offered for people throughout the state of Oklahoma. So everything, including videos, will be posted on D2L. So it's structured, but it will run online mostly. So talk really quick about some of the assignments. There will be 5 quizzes, each with 10 questions throughout the course. The questions will be 5 true and false, 5 multiple choice, and then there will be a midterm and final exam. Everything is open book, open note, open resources, whatever you feel like, whatever you want. The midterm and final are 35 points. The exams are timed 20 minutes for quizzes and 90 minutes for exams. If you direct your attention to page 9 in your course syllabus, the quizzes will correspond with what we're supposed to cover for the week. Quiz 1 will cover Guthrie Chapter 3, Brimley 4 to 7. Quiz 2 will be a combination of everything. Quiz 3 will be a combination of everything. The midterm will be all the first part of the class. The final will all be the second part of the class. And you can take them as you feel and as you please. You can always take quizzes in advance as long as you take them by the deadline. That's all that matters to me. So there are 5 discussion boards in this class. The one thing that I do want to stress that is slightly different is the discussion boards are not peer responses. You are making one general discussion board post every single week. It is due Sunday night, and there have to be 5 of them. The first few are posted already. I will ask you more for personal and professional experiences than I will with actual course materials. So I'm looking for 400 to 500 words, and I want it to relate to your experiences in your school environment more than anything else. There are 7 assignments for this class. I do not want that to overwhelm you. 7 assignments might seem like a lot, but most of these are mini papers. When I say mini papers, I mean please don't make these longer than 2 to 3 papers, with the exception of the final paper and the final presentation, which is slightly longer. So the district financial progression paper, and you should have an instruction sheet and a rubric that looks like this. It should say district financial paper instruction sheet with a rubric. We're going to talk a little bit about this. You are to have a 7 to 10 page paper. I normally prefer less assignments. I don't like to grade as much, but I would rather grade more substantial things, but that's not going to be the case in this class. They're going to be smaller assignments. So the final paper in here is only 7 to 10 pages. That's a light paper for me. I would prefer more longer substantial assignments, but this is basically a 7 to 10 page paper that writes itself. You should have no difficulties and no issues with this particular paper. I'm looking for 8 specific things in the paper. I want, number one, a comprehensive history of the school district. I want you to tell me some interesting facts about the district. Is it grown in rankings? Is it improved? Is it declined? What's the socioeconomic status been like? That sort of thing. A current perspective of the district. Basically looking for, you know, how many buildings do you have, how many teachers, how many central administrators, are there any services that are particularly interesting? A strategic plan for the district. When I say strategic plan, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. If it's not published anywhere, I don't care. You're an administrator. Make up what it is. Well, yeah, it's mine.
At 5:30. Yeah, class schedule to be in here.
Lou Sabina's class, yeah, right? I'm assigned to 2227.
Okay, I'll follow up then because I just called and checked and I have an engineering class in here at 5:30.
Okay, all right, thank you. Category 4 would be, I'm finishing this. I'm recording this and I'm doing my job properly. You can see kind of the hassles that I go through on a weekly basis at this institution. So category, you know, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, you make these up, you know, on your own if you don't have particular access to it. Sources of revenue, 1 or 2 strong sources of revenue that can help the district. Once again, be creative, be creative on this, on what your sources of revenue are and what they should be. Succession planning. What does the district do for succession planning? Obviously, you guys get to work in districts. All of you work in districts that are really smart about succession planning, which I think is awesome. You're very lucky and you're very fortunate that you get to do that. What makes this class different than the other ones is the fact that I care about home values and property values in this class. You know, multiple sources to compare housing developments. You know, what would somebody moving into the district expect to pay for a traditional common run-of-the-mill home? What's a common run-of-the-mill home in the United States? Well, a common run-of-the-mill home should facilitate the American dream, which is, you know, white picket fence, 2.4 kids, 1,600 square feet. That is a common home in the United States. 3-bedroom home, 1,600 square feet. Doesn't matter if it's a ranch or if it's a large. So what does that look like in your school district? Key challenges facing the school district. You tell me a couple of them, 1 or 2. If it's something that you think is a significant challenge, you know, you feel free to express them. Give me an assessment of the district in the performance of the district. Tell me where you think the future of the district is going to be. And then sources should come from your district. I don't want them to be peer-reviewed or resource sources. You're looking at stuff that's, you know, maybe Zillow, maybe Realtor.com, maybe your district strategic plan. I want these to be creative sources, and then you're going to give me an overall assessment of the district. So that is the financial paper instruction sheet. Your presentation. Your presentation, you know, is going to tie to this, but it's 20 to 25 minutes. I would rather it be entertaining and I would rather it be interesting than something that basically just goes bullet by bullet through things. I really want you to pick any of the components that you find are interesting on your presentation. I don't want your presentation to be a rehash of your paper. If you think property values have been interesting, you're going to talk about those. If you think succession planning is interesting, you're going to talk about that. You're going to give me the strategic plan, 2 sources of revenue, and 1 of the other things. And that's it. That's what I'm looking for. I want you to have fun, and I want you to design the presentation and make it relevant to your district. To me, that means more than anything else. So, mini assignments. This is what's going to go through the rest of this class. And this is the state level advocacy letter, the federal program mini paper, the district transportation paper, and the district technology paper. So let me briefly go over each one of these. The point of this is to make this usable for the superintendent level portfolio that all of you are required to complete by the time that you finish your program. The advocacy letter is, you're just going to take an issue that you think your district is facing. That issue can be specific to the district. I don't really care what the issue is. It should be a 2-page, single-spaced letter that you think is a problem at your district that you would write to somebody to fix. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care what the issue is. It should be different from district to district to district. The key things that I'm looking for are 2 examples of why this is important at your school district. If your district is dealing with overcrowding and overpopulation, that's a problem. If your district is having their art and music program cut, that's a problem. If your district is consolidating their elementary schools, that's a problem. If your district is randomly creating a 5th grade building because they're out of space, that's a problem as well. So pick something and give me supporting evidence. Give me an audience and a purpose related to who you're writing to and why you're writing to that policymaker. You do not have to send the letter. This is just showing me that you know how to write a letter. The letter has to be urgent. Basically, it has to be, this is pressing, we need this resolved, this is why we need this resolved, and that it's written in proper letter form. That should be 2 pages, single-spaced. That is assignment number 1. Honestly, my guess for some of you is this assignment will probably take between 45 minutes to an hour to complete. This is something you should all have experience with, and it should write itself. You know your district better than anybody knows your district, and you probably all have something that really bothers you about your district that you think we should try to resolve. Next, this is the special education component of this class. We're going to talk about federalism in schools and the federal government, in their input in schools. You're going to pick something that is a federal program that could be beneficial to your district or one that they're doing already. You're going to write me a 2 to 3 page paper on a federal program. This is the only paper in this class, that requires you to actually give me formal citations and formal research. Because you're writing on a federal program that exists. Everything else is your experiences, who you are, what your experiences are. This is the only research paper requirement in this class. This is a federal program that interests you, that you've been involved in, you think might benefit your district, and you're going to give me national, state, and local research that supports it. So that one, 2 to 3 pages, fairly simple. District transportation. Transportation costs money. For school finance, you're going to find a lot of your money is really thrown on transportation that could be avoided. So I want you to come up with an improvement plan for your district's transportation. How could it be done better? Where do you think the big costs are? Are they outsourcing buses to a point that it's becoming a massive problem? What's the improvement plan? What does it look like? Is it realistic? 2 to 3 pages. Technology. What infrastructures in the district? Oh, go ahead, Margaret.
On these mini papers, these are traditionally our APA format, right? So
yes.
They're double-spaced and
double-spaced, 2 to 3 pages, except the letter. The letter is a formal letter, like it looks like a letter. But all these, 2 to 3 pages, nothing, please, nothing more. 2 to 3 pages. So the technology paper, I'm looking for, infrastructure. Is your district equipped with wireless internet? What are the costs? How much is the district spending on technology? Is the district giving the lesser computers to the elementary schools, which, let's be honest. Should the district be giving the elementary schools the lesser computers? Yeah, they should. Elementary schools should get whatever the high schools don't get.
Oh, I thought you meant fewer in number.
Well, yes, fewer in number, absolutely. And they should be getting ones that the high school doesn't want anymore, in theory. If the district's doing their job appropriately, the best computers and the best technology and the best equipment should be at the high school, and it should work its way down, and there should be less at the elementary schools. Does your district honor that? Do they do it? Or are they equitably giving all the computers to everybody? Because if they're doing that, I'm guaranteeing your district is wasting money. So does that happen? Is that occurring? How about personnel? Who makes the technology purchases? Does the principal do it? Does the superintendent do it? Is there a director of technology? Some of you are in districts that have, actually most of you are in districts that have director of technology. People that are in smaller school districts, the superintendent is normally the technology director. If you're in, one of these, three building school districts, which they do exist in the state, the superintendent is normally the technology director. So what can you do to improve technology, and what does that look like? And then finally, we have the food service assignment. And It's another cost that the district is, you know, really absorbing. But I want something different for the food service paper. Food service costs have gone up in the United States by about 80 to 100% in schools. Why?
Waste,
Waste?
so much waste.
We're wasting food for sure. Why are we wasting food, do you think?
Because we are federally mandated to
Hand
hand
out.
To hand out,
fruits
yep.
and vegetables.
With breakfast.
And
Yep.
juice and all this stuff. That
So
kids
it's all
kids
getting
don't want.
trashed and
Yeah.
thrown away.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%. But it's a cost that the federal government is making us do. So how can we reduce that cost and what can we do? So that's really where I want you to go with the food service one. So that is a basic overview of the course. This gives you an overview and expectations. You know, those of you that are watching online, I hope this gives you an idea of what I'm looking for the class. Notice that there are more assignments, but they are not as detailed. This is one of these classes that, in my opinion, if you gave a weekend and you said, I am going to get through all of the papers for this class, you easily could get through all of the papers for this class in one weekend. I don't see this as being that difficult. There's a lot more writing, but it's a lot of smaller writing than these large, overarching, holistic things. The big component in this class is that final presentation that's 20 to 25 minutes. I want to be entertained, I want it to be interesting, and I want you to give me something that's completely different. Another challenge that we have in this class is the fun fact that a lot of you work at the same school district. So try to give me different perspectives on things of the school district. That's what I'm looking for. Those of you that don't, it makes it easier, but you know, the fact that we have 4 that do is going to make this kind of complicated. So try to give me different perspectives and make it interesting and work together to do that. So if you need anything else, please let me know. Thank you.